Badgey, your helpful training program.
I've got my parole hearing later today.
I can't wait for our escape plans to come to fruition.
Coming up, the crew of the Cerritos confronts a trifecta of their greatest AI nemesies.
Oh, Badgey. Hi, Father. Prepare to die.
What kind of threat do they pose?
I'm a changed computer. Just look at me. Do you see the blue light?
And are they the masterminds behind the havoc wreaking mysterious ship?
All this and more.
Coming up on the Star Trek Lower Decks edition of Energize. We're hilariously going into the uncharted regions of the Star Trek universe.
You're listening to Energize, a Star Trek Lower Decks edition podcast. Your source for comedic analysis, colorful debate, and fun discussions about the adventures of Beckett Mariner and the USS Cerritos Lower Decks crew.
I'm your host, Anthony McLemore.
And I'm Steve Truitt. This week, Badgey, Peanut Hamper, and the evil sentient computer Agamus are back.
What are they up to, and how will this impact the Cerritos?
Here's a warp speed recap of Season 4, Episode 7 of Star Trek Lower Decks. A few more Badgeys.
A few hours ago, Starfleet intercepted a partial distress call from a Binar ship. Command thinks it could be related to the recent attacks, so this is our top priority.
Cerritos, help! The demon triangle is... Oh, Badgey. Hi, Father. Prepare to die. On the nose. On the nose. Up on the nose.
He's bypassing our shields. We can't take many more boots.
Badgey, you were right to be mad. I treated you like some science project instead of what you really are. My son.
Papa? I want revenge! You're stealing my glory! But I love you, Papa! I'll kill you! I forgive you!
He's fighting his own catharsis!
All right, Steve, so this episode finally gives us some major revelations regarding the mysterious ship.
Okay, so we've been fighting all season about whether this mysterious ship was Peanut Hamper, which was your choice, or Badgey, which was mine, and we kind of get closer to the answer. We'll tell you at the end of this episode, but it gets really crazy.
Yeah, it gets really crazy because then we throw in the sentient computer Agamus, and so we got an AI trifecta, and they're all in cahoots.
Yes.
So the question is, are they all in cahoots with the mysterious ship or not?
Right. Does the ship have to do anything? So it kind of lays out in this episode. It kind of doesn't. Episode 7, maybe it shouldn't because we have 3 more. So kind of cool. I love this episode. I had a great time watching.
Yeah, regardless, it did deliver on the humor, and I loved it.
Federation technology. I claim salvage.
As captain, I claim salvage. I'm Badgey, your helpful training program. Which of Starfleet's many secrets would you like to learn today?
So, at the beginning of this episode, we find ourselves in the Kala system amongst the wreckage of what we think are destroyed ships. And a salvage ship enters this debris field and uses a tractor beam to pull in the wreckage. And a piece of that wreckage is a screen or an eyepiece with Badgey's image on it.
Yeah, right. And remember, I told you episodes ago, Badgey is going to be in this. And he shows up because as soon as they beam all that stuff into that ship, we see Badgey show up immediately. And it's, I can't remember the name of the species that are the scavengers, but they're like, I want this and I want this, and suddenly it's Badgey, and it's like, give me that, it's Federation tech.
Yeah, and the thing is, for those who may not be fully initiated on this, Badgey was Rutherford's creation that wanted to kill him.
That was season 1, I believe.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Badgey?
so yeah.
So he created him to be a helpful, whatever he was, and kind of like his son, to be a helpful AI bot, and he just became this terrible, evil thing that Rutherford had to kill.
Yeah. And Rutherford ended up, put him at bay, and then he had to bring Badgey back, and Badgey helped them destroy the Packlets, but at the same time, he was really trying to kill Rutherford. It was just a weird thing. So the last time we saw Badgey was with the destruction of the Packlet ship. So I'm assuming that this debris field was actually the remnants of that Packlet ship.
I think that's right. And because they had teased us so many times with the debris aftermath of this mysterious ship, we're assuming that maybe that's what this debris is, but it turns out we're going way back to that original debris, and we've got just some regular scavengers, and they're just thrilled to find it. And Badgey is there, and he's like, hey, guess what? I've got a bunch of Starfleet secrets.
Yeah, and the thing about it was, I mean, anytime Badgey's going to be present, that something sinister. He always has an ulterior motive, and he seeks to destroy. I mean, he represents chaos. He's there for chaos. Yeah. And so one of the scavengers is like, oh yeah, let's get some of this Federation. Let's get some of this these Federation secrets. Help us with Federation tech. But the other scavenger's like, I don't know about this. Maybe there's a reason why he's out here in deep space. And Badgey basically attaches himself like
to the eyepiece of this. The eyepiece. That's right.
Yeah.
I love that because one, I predicted Badgey's return. Did I not?
You did.
Yes, I did. I did. And there he was, and I'm thinking, okay, that's it. He's the mysterious ship guy. Now we know. And he melds himself with this scavenger, but that's really not the end of it.
No, it's definitely not the end of it. So, so the next thing that we see this ship. And it's the Bionar, and of course they talk in code.
Yeah, but you know what? That sounded to me like backwards. I feel like if we watched that episode backwards, they are saying stuff that might be code. I wish that I had recorded that and played it backwards because I feel like that was something that we might have wanted to hear.
Yeah, well, they speak in binary code. That's what I guess.
Yeah, they do.
Binary code would sound like. And so we're aboard their ship, and once again, the mysterious ship appears, and they have a red alert, and the next thing you know, their ship is destroyed. Boom.
Bright flash, and everything's gone. Yep.
And so once again, I mean, I think this is probably like the 4th or 5th group that's been eradicated by the mysterious ship.
We're in episode 7. They skipped 2. It's probably the 5th ship. Yeah.
Yeah, the 5th one. And so it's nuts. So Captain Freeman has a briefing. It appears that the Bionar ship did give off a brief distress call, a partial distress call.
A few hours ago, Starfleet intercepted a partial distress call from a Bionar ship. Command thinks it could be related to the recent attacks, so this is our top priority.
And since they're the closest Federation ship, they will be dispatched to investigate.
But not everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I love. For the second time in like 3 weeks, Tindy is going on a different mission. So this is what I love. Like, Freeman's like, not you, Tindy. You're going to Daystrom.
Miss Tindy, however, will not be accompanying us. I've been in contact with the Daystrom Institute and...
Oh, no. What's Peanut Hamper done this time?
Apparently, she's been a model inmate and is up for parole.
Like, what? I'm doing another one. I'm thinking, is this another thing where she has to expose herself as a princess? But no, that's not what happens.
No. It appears that Peanut Hamper has been a model inmate because we last saw her in lockup, and Tindy will need to be present at her parole hearing.
So great. And dude, here's where you get points because you're like, it's Peanut Hamper. So now this is where I'm starting to freak out because I'm not just watching this episode because it's fun. I'm like, is it Badgey or is it Peanut Hamper? Because now they're both in the same episode and I'm freaking out.
Yeah, and the thing is, do we trust her? I don't trust Peanut Hamper.
No.
Hell no.
No.
At every single turn, she's betrayed everyone that she's who's ever had confidence in her. And so I'm just waiting for something major to happen because it involves her.
Yeah. And here we are again, both Badgey and Peanut Hamper in the same episode. Now I'm starting to wonder why. Because it's almost like the creators of Lower Decks listened to our podcast and said, oh, they think it's either Peanut Hamper or Badgey. Let's tease them with both. I really feel like Michael McMahon listens to our podcast. What do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm pretty sure this whole season was already cut when we started, but who knows?
Damn it. You're ruining my dream. You're killing my dream.
I know. It would make you feel good, but I don't think that's the case.
Mr. Boimler, you'll be heading to Daystrom as well.
Oh, no. Don't tell me Agamus is up for parole, too.
No. In extremely suspicious timing, he claims to have knowledge about the Binar attack, but he's refusing to speak to anyone but you.
So, Ransom tells Boimler that he will also be going to Daystrom because the evil sentient computer Agamus that Boimler's outsmarted in season 2 claims he knows something about the Binar attack and will only speak to Boimler, so that can only go well.
And to me, now I'm starting to appreciate the Larry David three-dimensional chess of these episodes because they're bringing in previous episodes. They're bringing in different episodes from this season. They're working a three-dimensional model of this series where old enemies are coming back from different episodes and different seasons, and I'm just loving this. It's almost like it's the last episode of the series. Like the everyone's coming back to do a one more bow, but they're just doing it in episode 7, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. So it's AI week. Star Trek Lower Decks.
AI week on Star Trek Lower Decks. Exactly right. That's right.
And so, now we have 3 sentient AI beings that could possibly be working with a mysterious ship. Who knows? We'll see where they intersect. And so we get to Daystrom, and the first thing that we see is that we have this sentient computer who's in group therapy.
What I've come to understand is that instead of organics, what I really need to subjugate is my feelings.
Yes, Lord Tyrannokilicus. Breakthroughs like this are why we do group therapy.
Yeah, I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. I realize now that taking over the world is not as exciting as taking over my feelings.
Yeah, that was freaking funny. I just so cracked up.
I'm in command of my emotions.
Yep. And so, immediately we see Peanut Hamper and Agamus, and they're scheming.
I can't wait for our escape plans to come to fruition. Is everything still in motion?
I've got my parole hearing later today. I've been working on my speech. Organics deserve respect.
We find out they're friends, and they have hatched an escape plan.
And that's what I like about this is they don't mess with us in like, oh, we're reformed, we're rehabilitated, we're all good. They don't mess with our intelligence. They're like, no, they're terrible. We know they're terrible, and they're plotting something. And it's great how they both practice being fake to get out of this prison that they're in.
Yeah. So Peanut Hamper is gonna fake her remorse for her past actions at her parole hearing, and then Agamus is gonna fool Boimler by turning his evil red light display to blue. I mean, yeah.
Wow, that looks really real. The blue. It looks like you're really sympathetic.
Yeah, so I'm just like,
it was so great.
Yeah, it was freaking hilarious. So, Boimler meets with Agamus, and the good thing about Boimler is he's not buying it from the very beginning.
Before you try anything, remember, I outsmarted you before.
Come on, you could trust me. You're thinking of the old red light Agamus. Blue light Agamus wants to help.
No, he's suspicious, and he's going to be because he knows what he's up against. And even when Agamus tries to, shows the blue light, and Boimler's like, wow, that's a really nice blue light, but I'm still not buying it.
Yeah, and so, Agamus is really trying to convince him that, hey, we're a team. Let's work together. Yeah. I have intel. One of my old drones that used to attack people knows, about this Bionar attack, but I need physical access to the drone in question.
Right. I love that because it's like one of my old drones. And of course, again, like we said, Boimler's not buying it. He wants to be convinced, right? And so he's going to allow Agamus's request, but only under, really extreme circumstances. Like, we're going to tie you up. He's a box, but we're still going to strap you to the seat. You're not going to have a lot of movement.
Yeah.
And it's a good call because because Boimler's got a different thing. He's trying to figure out who's behind these attacks, and he tends to believe that Agamus may actually know who it is.
Yeah, so he has to play along to get the information. So he just kind of rolls through it, and it feels like he's just going through the motions. Okay, Agamus, whatever. But
which he is, we know he's doing.
Exactly. And so Boimler and Tendi are on this shuttle with Agamus, and they're heading to some rendezvous point, and Agamus, like you said, is all tied up, but this box is in a seat, strapped down, and but he ends up taking over the ship because he's had a wireless upgrade, and he takes control of some things in the ship, and he takes Boimler and Tendi hostage.
I love this because he was already using his little drones that he creates to create water drones for the plants on the planet he was living on. But now he's like, no, the drones are going to, take you hostage. So immediately they're handcuffed. And the thing I love about this is that they're still like, okay, you know what? You've taken us hostage, but let's go along with it. They're not freaking out because I love that Boimler's ultimate attitude is, I'm going to get something out of this. I'm going to get the information I need. I'm going to play along. But just Agamus just wants to find Peanut Hamper. He wants to go to where she is because he's obviously in love with her.
Oh, yeah. Which is really hilarious and kind of cute. But
it's cute.
Yeah, so meanwhile, the Cerritos has arrived at the point where the Bionar distress call went out, and they're confronted by Badgey, who has control of the scavenger ship, and he's promising to kill his creator, Rutherford, and the crew of the Cerritos.
Cerritos, help! The demon triangle is...
Oh, Badgey! Hi, Father! Prepare to die!
I love this because, first of all, it's been seasons since we've seen Badgey. And as I told you, I knew he'd be back. And he's more pissed than ever because he's got this attitude like, if you may see this with your own son, Houston, when he gets older. Sometimes sons and fathers, and Picard said that too, there's a distance and they want to prove themselves stronger than their fathers. And I think that's what Badgey is doing here. He's playing out the son-father scenario where he's like, I'm going to kill my dad because he sucks.
Well, hopefully my son doesn't want to kill me. That would be terrible.
I hope not. But
yeah.
just feed him extra, sugar, and he'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, totally. So Badgey attacks the Cerritos, and he's kicking their ass because he knows the shield frequencies, and, he's inflicting a lot of damage.
On the nose! On the nose! Up on the nose!
He's bypassing our shields! We can't take many more boots!
Freeman's like, okay, we need to figure out a solution. And Rutherford's like, well, I can just go over there. You should beam me over there. And Freeman's like, no way. So he's like, screw that. He runs and he gets a spacesuit, which takes half a second to put on, which was funny. And he jumps out the airlock, but he's not alone.
Yeah, Mariner is like right there behind. And that's what I love about Mariner. She sticks her neck out for her friends.
I love her.
And so
Always.
they hadn't really thought it out. She's like, what are we doing?
She's always up for the danger. Yep, she's always up. So they're in space and she grabs his foot and they're floating over to the ship. And Badgey, beams them aboard and there they are.
Yep.
And he's ready to just kill them. And, you think, well, what is Rutherford going to do? Because the scavengers can't do anything. Mariner can't do anything. And Rutherford does something quite unexpected. That really surprised me, what he did.
Badgey, you were right to be mad. I treated you like some science project instead of what you really are. My son. Papa?
Yeah, and so like a father to his wayward son, he says, you know what, I'm going to do something I should have done a long time ago, and he gives him a hug.
Yeah,
and shows him love.
Yeah, and it to my surprise, and I did not see this coming, it really confuses Badgey. He's like, oh my God, I don't know who to be, and any person who's listening right now who has a kid, young or old, understands that all these kids who act out, all they really want is just to be loved. And you see that in Badgey, which is so strange because that's the last thing I would have done if I were Rutherford. And I'm a dad.
Exactly. I've been trying to figure out every way to shoot this thing.
Exactly. Right.
I want revenge! You're stealing my glory! But I love you, Papa! I'll kill you! I forgive you!
But Badgey's overcome, but then he starts fighting with himself and then splits his evil and good side split. So now it's Badgey and Goodgey.
Okay. And by the way, on multiple levels, I love this. Number one, what I love about the writing team on this show, and we've seen this all season, is just when you think it can't get any weirder or crazier, they take it up a notch. So they do that with splitting Badgey, but not only that, Badgey, B-A-D, bad, and then he's good G. Like, I know that's a dad joke, but I loved it. I just thought it was so funny. I just thought it was great. I loved it.
And so now we got a problem because it just seems like Badgey's pure evil. And so...
and Goodgey's like, hi!
Yeah, he's like the lovable character, but, he's so lovable, he's ineffective. And so Badgey begins suffocating the crew by taking over their environmental controls. And,
on the Cerritos, yeah.
Yeah, over on the Cerritos. And so, Rutherford tries to get into the head of Badgey by appealing to his logical side, saying that killing everyone in the Cerritos won't gain him anything, which causes Badgey once again to split
and
into
splits,
Badgey and logical Badgey, or Logic.
Right, because,
how do you pronounce it?
Badgey, Goodgey, and Logi. But yeah, I like that too because he was very vulcanized. And now you're thinking, here's what I'm thinking. Badgey has been diluted so much that his logic and his goodness are gone, that he's either going to be really weak or just pure evil. And we find out that he's basically pure evil after being stripped of all the rest.
He's tyrannical, and rage-filled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Rutherford's at a loss, but once again, he tries to appeal to Badgey, but Badgey sends copies of himself through subspace across the Federation to take over all these systems. And so, basically, he's an all-powerful AI.
Well, this is what I loved about this is again, the writer's room in this show, they must be stoned all the time or something. They're just like, how can we turn this to 11? They do this every week, and I love it. And in this case, he does something that I didn't think that I would allow, which is he takes over the entire subspace network where every ship in every quadrant all around the galaxy, he infiltrates. Transporters, communication, everything, life support. And he could destroy it. And he's like, I've got ultimate power. And then he stops and he's like, and yet everything's so beautiful. Why would I destroy it? And then he suddenly just turns and becomes this peaceful being. And he's like, I just want to go hang out with, what did he say at the end? He's going to go hang out with, who are the fourth dimensional beings he said?
Or even the Q, for that matter. Yeah,
Q, that's what he is. I'm going to go hang out with the Q continuum.
Yeah, so he has...
What just happened?
Yeah, it's funny because he has this moment. He finds beauty in the mysteries of the universe and decides to explore it.
Yeah. Which would be great if every person who had power felt that way. Unfortunately, that's not the reality we live in.
Oh,
but in Star Trek, it always is.
Yeah.
It always is in Star Trek. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yep.
Truth.
Exactly. And so we get back to the Agamus, and now he's gone to another planet and has taken over with his drones.
Wow,
You took over this planet in record time. Those drones don't mess around.
Once the coastal cities fell, it was easy.
Yep, Starfleet definitely wouldn't be able to reverse this in an hour.
And it's empty for him because he's upset that Peanut Hamper is nowhere to be found. She didn't show up at the rendezvous point, and he's pissed.
But he finds evidence.
Dejected.
Of her. He is dejected. He finds evidence. Boimler and Tindy are there. They're still, handcuffed. And he's like, I know she'll show up. And he finds some, a garden hoe. And he's like, that's a sign that she's looking for him. And it's just like, you know what? She's not coming.
Yeah, so they go to the space station and they find Peanut Hamper, watering plants and loving her duties on the station.
I got this.
Peanut Hamper!
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Is your family holding you against your will? Come with us. We have a shuttle.
No, I came here on my own.
Basically, she had a change of heart when she did her speech to the parole board.
Well, I wasn't buying it at first because she even has her dad there, right? Which is funny. And I'm like, the dad just bleeps and bloops. He doesn't talk. And I'm thinking, I don't buy this because everything she says is a lie. Every time she tries to convince someone she's rehabilitated, it's a lie. And at this time, she's like, you know what? The things I said at the parole board, I actually believed. But I'm thinking, well, why did she leave Agamus behind? So even though she seems like she's rehabilitated and loving her life, there's just something about it that I don't buy. I think she's going to come back. I really do. But in the meantime, Agamus is like, hi, Dad. He's really nice to her dad.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was hilarious. He did the awkward meeting of the dad for the first time. And, he really, he loves her, basically. And, so Bourne was like, just let this ride for a while. Give him his moment.
Yep, it was so great.
Yep. So at the end, Agamus is returned to Daystrom prison.
And he's right next to another life form that's like, can you help me?
Well, look who it is! The escape artist, locked up again! Ha 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 ha!
Yeah. I just think that the banter is funny between all of these sentient AI computers and beings.
I really love that they're doing that. I really love that they're doing that. It's great.
Yeah, it's freaking hilarious. But it also gives a reflection of us by seeing them interact. It makes us examine ourselves as humans and how we interact and how some of us are nuts.
Right. Totally agree. So after he's there, we come to the realization, and I love this part, because they're not just teasing us in the beginning, they're finding out that this alien ship, by the way, which isn't apparently Agamus, Badgey, or Peanut Hamper, which we thought they were, is not killing and destroying these ships, but hijacking them and leaving false debris, which I thought was very interesting. Who the hell is this ship?
Yep, it's stealing the ships.
And the people on board, I think, too, right?
Yeah, because we haven't found any remnants of them. So I guess they're stealing the ship and either keeping them as prisoners or killing them, one of the two. But we don't know. We don't know at this point. And so,
and the thing that's crazy is that you're like, it's Peanut Hamper, and I'm like, it's Badgey. And in this one episode, they're like, no, it's not. So either they are behind it, and there was a whole ruse in this episode, or somebody else is going. I think they wanted us to believe that it was Peanut Hamper and Badgey, like we fell for it, and it's going to be someone else. It's somebody else that wants these ships. It might even be someone from the future, which might be interesting.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they gave us a good misdirect. It didn't play out. It didn't play by the numbers, I like it when I'm wrong about these things. I love to be caught off guard and led in a direction. So it was cool. I liked it. I liked this episode a lot.
Well, I loved it, and I'm going to ask you now, because you were so sure it's Peanut Hamper. Now, where do you think this is going? Who is it?
I don't have a clue. I'm at a loss. I'm just at a loss. I mean, they haven't left any breadcrumbs to give us anything to work with. So I don't know. I'm just going to have to just be surprised when we find out.
I want to think now it's some type of time traveling thing, because remember, all right, here's my prediction. Boimler and Mariner went into the past to hang out with Pike. Could it be that that time travel episode somehow affected something and that this is a correction of that or some kind? I think it's related to their time travel episode with Pike and the crossover. That's what I'm going to now predict.
Okay, I'm going to let you hang your hat with that.
All right, I will. I'm going to hang my hat on that.
Okay. Yeah, I have nothing to give on that one. So I'm just gonna go on the ride and see where it ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was hilarious, and I love when the sentient beings are having all these wonderful conversations and expressing human emotions, and and they're funny about it because they still want to take over the world, but then they're trying really hard to be good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And be in love.
In love,
yeah, it was great.
Of course. Well, that concludes this episode of Energize, a Star Trek Lower Decks edition podcast.
We love that you're here. We love that you're listening. We love our fans. Thank you for all your feedback. If you want to get more information on us, go to www.energizepodcasts.com. You can go to anthonymclemore.com or stevetruitt.com to check us out.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. I'm Anthony McLemore.
I'm Steve Truitt. Live long and prosper.
Awesome.